Welcome to Studio 5. Believe it or not, the holidays are here, so we're taking a look at what's coming to the big screen just in time for the holiday season. Michael B. Jordan is here with Creed 2. Soul singer Kim is here with some holiday music, and we're going behind the scenes of the new version of a holiday classic, The Grinch. We have so much to get to and no time to waste, so let's fire up the countdown clock and begin our look at what's new in uplifting entertainment. At number 5. It's Bieber and Baldwin making headlines again. Take a close look at Hailey Baldwin's Instagram page, and you'll notice this.
It's Instagram official. Model Hailey Baldwin changed her Instagram handle to Hailey Bieber to confirm her long-speculated September marriage to Justin Bieber. Leaving no doubt, Bieber himself posted a pic of him and Hailey holding hands with the caption, "My wife is awesome."
At number 4.
Hey CBN, this is Russ Lee with New Song and Winter Jam, and you're at the 2019 Winter Jam launch party with a behind-the-scenes exclusive look at Winter Jam 2019.
It's Christian music's largest annual tour, and Studio 5 is backstage with a look at who's on the bill.
Newsboys United, Danny Goki, Mandisa, Rend Collective, Ledger, hosted by New Song.
Something secret.
Yes.
That we're going to tell you here, right? So we've been working on a new record, the 6 of us together.
Is that a true story? A new record?
Brand new record, Newsboys United record.
Hey, stop the presses. I need you just to blast social media and tell them that Winter Jam's got the Newsboys United, and they're going to be doing some brand new music.
The Newsboys, brand new 5 EP song EP of the new United music will be available for your little ears on that tour.
The tour kicks off January 11th, and the first stop is Jacksonville, Florida.
Experience Winter Jam like never before.
That begins the countdown and brings us to the big screen. Creed 2 is in American theaters Thanksgiving Day, and trust me, this is one you want to see. We're sitting down with the stars, Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thompson, and the new director to lead this latest chapter of the Rocky franchise, Steven Caple Jr. We travel to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, PA. Action! For this latest chapter of the Rocky franchise, Creed 2. It's a story of fighting, finding legacy, and fatherhood, with Michael B. Jordan back as Adonis Creed. How has Adonis evolved since we've seen him last, you think?
Adonis has, his thirst to become world champion. Being a little more comfortable in his skin, starting a family of his own. I think it was really, really important for him because growing up he didn't really have that structure. I think he was really excited about becoming a father as well. I think that was pretty cool to play.
But you don't think I could beat him? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not gonna be here forever.
And what's that supposed to mean?
It means you gotta do some smart thinking.
Oh, you wanna talk about smart decisions, Rock? You in this house all alone. Who been taking care of you? Me. I've been here for you. Who else you got? Listen, I'm taking this fight with or without you.
Tell me when.
This new Creed chapter has a new director, Steven Caple, handpicked by the director of the first film. So, Steven, you come into a very well-established brand. Ryan comes before you and introduces this story. What kind of pressure coming in for you to pick up?
There was a lot. I mean, I think ultimately there's a sense of thrill, right, when you're asked to do or step into this big franchise. But then there's a bit of worry, right, because it's like you do have to follow some pretty heavy steps. Brian, Sylvester Stallone, the directors before me, and so you want to come with your A game ultimately. And I think for me, some of the worry went away. It's definitely when I met the team and saw how they were trying to top the last one. And I was like, that just gives you a push, when everyone's like, oh, let's be better. And I don't know if I was like, you always want to be better than your last stuff. Okay, I'm with that. And they want it to be a standalone.
Knowing a little bit about you, I know that you are not just a filmmaker, but you're committed to giving a voice to communities and stories that we may not see.
For sure.
How does this fit in that?
It's right in there. I think it was an opportunity to also change the narrative a bit with what we see on camera for people that live in my community and people of color. You know what I mean? On screen and behind it. So that's the purpose. You know, I remember meeting with Mike and Tessa and talking about how we want the characters to be portrayed and how we want to carry over from Creed 1 and be in a positive light and deal with broader universal themes, so that way they can see that we can tap into that a bit. But yeah, and so far as the community goes, I just want to inspire.
Why do it again? What do you have to prove?
It's not about that. You wouldn't be any good to anybody if you didn't do what you love. You wouldn't be able to breathe, right? Well, I wouldn't be any good to anybody if I don't handle this the right way. But I need you.
Actress and singer Tessa Thompson is back in the role of Adonis's girlfriend, a singer, losing her ability to hear.
You better.
We hear in the film Adonis say to Bianca that he's a fighter and she's a fighter. How is she a fighter, you would say, do you think?
I think in every which way. In the way that all women are, in the way that all mothers are. She's obviously someone that's struggling, you know, with trying to sort of pursue her dreams, dealing with her progressive hearing loss, which, you know, is the truth for a lot of people globally. Yeah, I think she's incredible in that space.
I was afraid I couldn't live up to these expectations.
You don't think you got your validation?
You got people that need you now. This guy is dangerous.
I ain't got a choice.
That's the same thing your father said, and he died right here in my hands.
We see in this film, as well as the last, a lot of talk of building his own legacy.
Yes.
You've been acting now since you were a kid. Yeah. Do you spend much time thinking about building Michael B. Jordan's legacy?
Yeah, I spent some time thinking about that. Yeah.
You know what you want it to be, or?
I'm still building it. You know, it's you know, you want to leave something behind, but you don't really know exactly what it's going to be until, you know, it's all said and done. So I'm just trying to take strides and steps in the right direction, in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Creed 2 is in American theaters Thanksgiving Day. Once again, this is a must-see. Still ahead.
Believe in his love, power and grace.
This R&B star takes Studio 5 to church with his life story. I read that the last drink and the last time you took a drug was July 23rd, 1990. So you've been sober more than 20 years. We're sitting down with Kim and getting in the holiday mood. Welcome back to Studio 5. It is time to continue the countdown of the best headlines in uplifting entertainment. At number 3. DC's Museum of the Bible hosts the premiere of the film Revival the Experience.
Our production is the staging of an old story.
Half hour, people!
It's a hybrid of film, Broadway musical, and animation, looking at the Book of John and the work of actor Harry Lennox.
You must love one another.
Imprisoning him is not our request.
What then?
Death.
Let your will be done.
Not my will.
Let your will be done.
Not my will.
It's being called the hippest experience of the gospel world, and it's in theaters December 7th. At number 2.
I feel it's right to ask you guys to join me for one last dance.
And in this, his final season, playing in the NBA, the Miami Heat's Dwayne Wade has another reason to be thankful. His wife, actress Gabrielle Union, sharing on Instagram the arrival of their daughter, Kavia James. And the newborn already has her own Instagram page with more than 150,000 followers.
Can I not be there in moments that they need me? Can I not read to my kids as much as I want?
And that leaves only one more headline in this week's countdown. We're going to get to it in about 7 minutes or so. In the meantime, we're continuing our journey to get you in the holiday mood and sitting down with Kem. That's K-E-M. Now, if you don't have his Christmas album, you need to get it and put it on repeat. We sat down with him on his Christmas tour.
There'll be mistletoe and colored lights for the Christmas tree. They barely define what you mean to me. Baby, love never dies.
Why a Christmas tour of all the tours you could do? Why do this?
I'm doing a Christmas tour because I grew up and I saw Kenny Rogers come to town every year and do a Christmas show. And I think in the African American community, I haven't seen that. And that doesn't mean that there's not anybody doing it, but I haven't seen that. So I wanted to provide to do a show and hopefully develop a Christmas brand for myself and bring Christmas to town every year. That's what we're hoping to do.
Speaking of a Christmas brand, you have a song. I actually was listening to Steve Harvey's show when you were on just last week, and he played Jesus is the Love of My Life at least 3 times in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
In 15 minutes after he first heard the song. Where'd that song come from?
Jesus, 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 He's my refuge. Jesus, 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 He's my tower.
I started writing that song probably a decade ago, and I didn't finish it. I believe everything happens, when it's supposed to happen. I didn't finish the song, and when I came back to revisit my Christmas album and add bonus songs to it, it was one that I went back and grabbed, and I'm very, very grateful that I did. It features Patti LaBelle and Ron Isley. The song is bigger than all of us. It's not about us. It's about carrying forth, the name of Jesus, particularly during the holiday season. But if there is no better time than right now, with the state of what's going on in the world.
Did it minister to you in the process?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. A lot of times it looked like it wasn't going to be done. I didn't know how it was going to come together. I brought all of these, I brought this great talent together in Patti and Ron, and didn't know how it was going to turn out. And when I first heard the mix, after I recorded Patti and kind of put everything together and sent it off to be mixed, they sent it back, and when I heard it for the first time in its entirety, I cried, and Ron cried, and Pat, so I mean, yeah, it does. It's that type of song, it's that type of song, and it's my favorite right now.
I read that the last drink and the last time you took a drug was July 23rd, 1990. So you've been sober more than 20 years.
Right.
Do you ever get tired of talking about that part of your life, being homeless and addicted to drugs?
No, that's our testimony. I'm only as grounded as my testimony. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do. When God has done something great in your life, we're supposed to let our light shine and hopefully minister to somebody else who may be going through something, and also to remember where we came from. It's important. My career is built on my career is really built on my testimony.
And this is why I say I will glorify the King.
Kem's album is called What Christmas Means. It's available now wherever you purchase your music. Right now, it's time to say it in pictures. It's time for this week's Studio 5 Snapshot. For this snapshot, we head to the United Kingdom, where artist and friend of Studio 5, Gary Thomas, calls home. When he saw this photo I snapped on a flight and shared on Instagram, he saw art. So he created this, and he calls it a window of possibilities. I am beyond humbled at his kindness. Gary, I can only say thank you, thank you, thank you. It is now an unforgettable Studio 5 Snapshot. Still to come.
Oh, ho,
In keeping with Christmas?
Maybe that makes me Grinchy, I don't know.
Meet the cast behind the latest take on a holiday classic, The Grinch. And welcome back to Studio 5. We have made it to the final headline in this week's countdown of the best headlines in uplifting entertainment. At number 1.
Tonight, Cicely Tyson receives her more than well-deserved Oscar.
The Academy honors Cicely Tyson for an incredible acting career.
I am led by divine guidance. It's when I go against it that I get myself into trouble.
God's guidance led a poor immigrant girl from Harlem to Hollywood for roles in Sounder, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, Roots, and The Help.
Miss Charlotte, let me take her to the kitchen. Mom? I know you didn't want me to do this, but I did. And here it is.
Tyson accepted the Academy's Governor's Award surrounded by younger celebrity friends who thanked her for opening the door for them.
Next month, on December 19th, I'm going to be 94 years old.
And so that wraps this week's countdown and brings us to a Dr. Seuss holiday classic, The Grinch. It opened in theaters with the biggest opening for a Christmas-themed movie. In case you missed it, here's your look at what you might want to add to this holiday must-see list.
If I could describe the Grinch's attitude in one word, it would have to be surly.
Nasty. Awful. Grouchy.
Grinchy. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
I know this sounds weird, but this movie does a really good job of making Christmas like a little bit annoying.
Oh, hello. Happy holidays.
Maybe that makes me Grinchy, I don't know.
Today, we will do mean things, and we will do them in style.
Everyone gets a vicarious thrill out of how the Grinch behaves.
They kind of like enjoy seeing someone who hates Christmas.
I mean, the Grinch is a timeless story.
Look at those greedy little gift monsters.
Ready?
Oh, hey, look, it's me.
What's different and special about this version of the Grinch is it is very loyal to the book.
I know what to do. I'm going to steal their Christmas.
I can see myself as that character.
No more bells, no more trees, no more lights. Just give me a break.
Leave Mr. Grinch alone, you old feisty frosty.
Come on, positive vibes and cool vibes, good vibes only. Maybe he needs to go to therapy.
That's not going to happen. Everyone's capable of getting a bit Grinchy at Christmas. You don't have to be green. It helps to be green, but you don't have to be green.
You're a mean one, mister.
Even though the Grinch is kind of a bad guy, he's not, and he's it's laughable and he's lovable.
This is the loudest snow I've ever heard in my life.
He's funny. That's hopefully what's going to be memorable about this Grinch, even if it is a green, fluffy guy who wants to steal Christmas and has a heart that's 2 sizes too small.
Behold, the cookie. This is our enemy. No, no, no. We must resist.
And the message is, you know, be kind.
Ho, ho, ho.
The Grinch is in American theaters right now. Coming up next.
When I was a kid, laughing at church was illegal. I remember one time laughing at church, this lady was jumping around and her wig fell off. That stuff was hysterical.
Comedian Michael Jr. is back in Studio 5 with the gift that shaped his life. And welcome back to Studio 5. Music is always playing in my ear as we work to bring you this show. And this week, it's 2 of my favorite. You've already heard from Kim, while he teams up with another, Gregory Porter, in Holding On. Take a look and a listen at what's playing in my ear.
Holding on, and it's holding strong. Even though I tried to make it, play the part, but I can't fake it. It keeps holding on. And it's holding strong. Even though I tried to break it. Heaven knows that I can't shake it.
Holding on, holding on.
And with that, we are almost out of time for this episode, so it is time to take a look now at what we're working on for you for next week.
Someday, I know somehow.
There's a healing story behind this voice.
Whatever you've gone through, if it's addiction, depression, divorce, loss, failure, whatever it might be, those things uniquely equip you to be able to bring His mercy to other people.
And Jason Gray opens up in Studio 5 to share that story.
I know somehow I'll be okay, but not right now.
And you can join us for that story and so much more next week. As for the final word for this show, we're giving that to comedian Michael Jr. He has a look at why your biggest challenge may actually be your greatest gift.
I realized, like, my mind would scramble to figure out what words were because I couldn't sound them out phonetically. So I'd look at the font size, the color, the positioning, what's in front of it, what's behind it, how people responded to it. I actually came up with like 7 different ways to look at a word to determine what it was. By the time I got to high school, people didn't know I wasn't really reading, I was just working it out really fast. Now as an adult, I read just fine, but I still have this ability to look at words and people and situations and all sorts of things differently almost immediately. So that's the primary place that I pull my comedy from. So you may see something one way, but I got immediately 7 different ways. So it's almost like what I thought was a handicap, what God has actually used it for good in a huge way. So a lot of people probably watching right now, there's probably something in your past that you thought was a handicap. You thought it was meant to set you back, and it probably was, but God can literally use that thing as a strength for what you're supposed to do now.
And God can certainly use your old weakness as the strength for what you're supposed to do right now. That is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5 and this look at uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift someone else. Bye-bye, everybody.